some of the most hardest decisions that we have to make in our life are almost always in between what we know versus what we feel. What do I mean by that? Because a lot of times when we make decisions, when we have to make something, when we have to pursue something, it's almost always in between what we know versus what we feel. It basically means that what we know and what we feel, they collide. They collide in what we believe in, they collide in the circumstances that we are in right now. They collide what we feel like we should do and what we know about it already, right? And that's where the risk comes from, right? That's where the risks of making decisions stem from. It's versus the things that we know and what we feel about them. Because a lot of times, when we make decisions, there are times wherein we feel like we shouldn't do it. We feel like we shouldn't push it. We feel like we shouldn't go through it. Because we have a bad feeling about it, right? And it's the same as what we know. Because sometimes we don't do things, we don't pursue some things because of what we already know. For example, we already know some people who took the risks, who pushed through the things that you want to do, the things that you want to pursue, and they failed at it. And it's a result of something that having to see it from other people, having the outsider's perspective from it, right? And it scares you to do the same, to pursue the same thing because you already know that they failed at it. And it's most likely that you will fail at it as well. You will feel like that. And you know that you might as well not try if you know that you'll fail, right? And that's where the colliding of what we know versus what we feel comes, right? Because, for example, you want to pursue something and it's something that you feel like you will enjoy it. You will be happy pursuing it. But at the same time, you have this fear of failing because of the things that you already know about it. Because of the things that you know that will most likely happen to you if you fail at it. Right? And I don't know, it's just something that I thought earlier and that I wanted to talk about more in this video. And actually, I was lost in thought earlier as well while thinking about this, and I didn't know where I was going with it. So, while I'm not trying to come across as someone who is knowledgeable in this one, no. I just thought that since I'm already celebrating about it, might as well film it, might as well share my thoughts about it. And here I am sharing my thoughts about it. And I know that's a tangent, I'm sorry. And if you think about it, the things that make the decisions hard are not the decisions themselves, right? It's the consequences of those decisions, of the possible consequences of those decisions. And most of the time, if not all the time, they're in between what we know and what we feel. Because a lot of times, those two collide. And I'm not saying that all the time, because there are also times where those two join hand in hand, when we're making decisions that what we know and what we feel are in the same boat, right? But a lot of times they don't. A lot of times they're not in the same boat. And those kind of scenarios, those kind of situations are what shape us, are what contribute to our development as a person. And it will also shape our character. How? Because you have to choose between what you know and what you feel, right? And that's hard to do. You can ask anyone and everyone about it. They'll tell you the same. That it's hard to do. And they just push through it. They just weigh down their circumstances. They just weigh down their resources. They just weigh down their options. And it's something that you have to discover for yourself. It's something that you have to figure out on your own. So why am I here? Why am I talking here? Like, why am I saying this kind of things if I'm saying that you only need yourself, that you have to discover it yourself? Then why am I here? Then why am I talking? Then why am I sharing my thoughts? So I also don't know. No, I'm just kidding. I wanna, put out an advice or a message out there for those people who struggle with this kind of thing. I mean, all of us struggle with, but a lot of people also know how to weigh down their options, and some don't. And my advice to you would be, if you're struggling between the two, between choosing what you feel or versus what you know, it's something that I heard like from a seminar that I attended like years ago. It says there that follow your heart, but take your brain with you. So what does that mean? It basically means that follow the things that you think will make you happy, but make sure that they're rational. Make sure that they're logical. Make sure that you have a plan for it. You just don't dive in head first and without even looking down, without even knowing what's down there. And it can also mean that take your brain with you can also mean that having a backup plan, having a soft cushion when you fall. And because let's be honest here, like the things that we want to pursue, especially the things that will make us happy, are not easy, right? They're not easy to achieve. They're not easy. I mean, it's not easy to get there, right? And a lot of times we will fail. And a lot of times we will be pushed back and will think whether it's for us, whether we should go through it. And that's the best time we're in. That's the best time to have a backup plan. That's the best time to have something that you can fall on, right? Because if you just go all in on that something without a backup plan, without something that will catch you when you fall, you'll be the only one suffering, and you can't pick yourself up, especially if you don't have anything that will help you go through that failure, right? Especially if it involves like financial things. And I know that's a bit boring to talk about, but mostly does only involve money, right? The thing that's stopping us from pursuing the things that we want is money, as financial things. And I'm not saying that that's the only sole reason why we don't pursue the things that we want. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's one of the main reason why we don't do that, or at least people don't, right? And while I'm saying this kind of things, I'm also in the same page. I'm also in the same storm as you. I'm also still figuring things out, weighing things down, weighing my options, making decisions based on what I feel versus what I know. Especially in the field that I am in right now, it's pretty difficult to weigh out your options and to what to pursue. And it's something that we all have to figure out on our own. But take my advice for it, Follow your heart, but take your brain with you. Make sure that you have plans. Make sure you have an approach to it. Make sure that it's, not essentially systematic, but at least structured. A structured plan to go through it, to be there, to get there, right? And I know it's not something that you can do immediately. I know it is broad, but it's an idea, right? You can start there and see for yourself, what comes out of it, whether you fail or succeed. You only have yourself to blame or to credit, right? And what else? I don't know, because I just realized that, when we were making decisions, it's always, or especially the hardest decisions that we have to make, they are almost always in between what we know versus what we feel. And I just thought that, yeah, there actually are in between those two. And I got, I don't know, confused in a way and baffled, because why shouldn't the things that we know be aligned with what we feel? And as I thought more about it, it's because of people around us. It's because of the set standards in general, right? I don't know if you can connect the dots between the two, but most of the time, they all stem from the standards set by people, standards set by our society. But I don't want to get political, but it is as it is. It's like, once you figure things out for yourself and how your views affect your decisions, how your views affect your even your own development, it will unlock a lot of realization for you. And I'm not coming from a point wherein I'm saying that you have to pick a side. No. You just have to be respectful of what people believe in and pursue what you want without trampling over other people. Make sure that while you're pursuing the things that you want, make sure that you're not hurting or trampling over other people. Because what's the point of getting on top if your trail lives or left a lot of dead body, right? I don't know, it's just I got so deep there. Wow. Oh, I'm sorry. What was I talking about again? Yeah, making decisions in between what we know versus what we feel. Is there something that I can add about it? I guess that's about it. Again, you're free to disagree on my take. You're free to berate me with your own take and with your own views. I'll openly accept those. I'm open with those kind of discussions. And I guess that's about it. Stay awesome.